Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1. Well, hello tubers, hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. I apologize that I've been a bit remiss. I have not been uploading as much because, life and living just gets in the way, and I've been neglecting my dear, sweet Carolyn's RV life. I have not been providing as much color or spice or interpretations of her life, but I'll fix that today. Got a few observations that perhaps some of you, pardon me, I was just having some 7-Up. Got a little bit of gas here. So I have a few observations about what's been going on with Carolyn's RV life. You notice she's going broke faster now. Oh boy, the stubbornness is very strong, and she's been, how can I put it, even more work shot. We've tried so hard to give her strong and good fiscal conservative advice about getting a JOB or a job EPU before it's too late. And yet her numbers of Patreons have dropped. She's putting one video up a week at most, and sometimes she'll go 2 weeks between videos. So she's off to do mooch docking in upstate New York at her aging mother's place. So I guess that takes a little bit of the pressure off, but perhaps she should throw a few resumes up and maybe try to get a job while she's in upstate New York. Lots of jobs available if you want to work. In fact, I see openings everywhere. It seems like the economy's getting bad, but yet nobody wants to work, especially the left-wing young kids and the left-wing old people like her. They're just they think they're too smart, or it's below them to work and just get in there and get it done. And I predicted this, been predicting it for a long time. Got a lot of videos where I've talked about her going broke, and it's just so true, and I don't wish this upon her. In fact, I'm very benevolent. I've offered her money, gifts over the years. She just doesn't want to play along because she's very stubborn, but so be it. She's entitled to be stubborn. She's entitled to be broke. That's her right. She can be as rich or as poor as she wishes to be. Okay, but why, Carolyn? Why do you have to do this to yourself? It's almost because it came from my lips, you don't want to acknowledge it. Well, there's other people out there that you've blocked, the thousands you've blocked, that have given you good advice too. Say, just get a job, Carolyn, get on with your life. Live long and prosper, as Spock would say. And I want her to live long and prosper. But she's just so stubborn, don't want to get the job EPU. If you look on all those sites that will estimate her income, it's pathetic. Some of the lowest estimates are a couple $100 a month. It's like, how do you live on that? And then Patreon, a few hundred more, a few bucks thrown at you from these crazy sponsorships where you're just a product huckster. A shill, I guess, would be the correct term. I mean, how do you live on that? It's a pittance. I mean, I'm going to guess her total income globally from everything she does is about $1,200 a month. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? $1,200 a month. Hey, RV life has taught me how to live well cheap. I live on 20% of my income. And, I'm not talking about 20% of $1,200 either. Like if she tried to pull it off for me, it'd be impossible unless she lived in Sierra Leone or something. And nobody wants to live in Sierra Leone. No disrespect for those who live in Sierra Leone, but it's a very poor country. People living on $1 a day type thing, $2 a day. It's horrible. I don't wish any of that upon her. And I've always been a gracious conservative, giving her good advice. But I just see the trend. I extrapolate the data lines, the data points on the graph, and you can just see she's doubling down to nothing. And she doesn't have to do that. Like, why? She could be, making bank, stacking up the cash like me, and planning the next adventure. In fact, I'm celebrating 10 years living in the RV. 10 years. I'm going to do a big video on that. Don't worry. It's going to be a long, exhaustive video on my opinion of 10 years. You do anything for 10 years, you get good at it. So I've been doing it longer than her. I've been doing it more successfully. In fact, she's tried to mimic me. I go to New Zealand, she goes to New Zealand. I go to Alaska, she goes to Alaska, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but you know, when I go, I don't fly economy class. Okay, you know, I go to, yeah, I'm wearing a Gibraltar t-shirt. Yeah, you go to Gibraltar, you rent an apartment. Love Jib. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be back with another apartment. That's the whole idea of me stacking cash so that the next adventure abroad will continue. And everything's about doing things methodically, carefully. Well, she don't like to do it that way. She likes to do it on her own terms. Well, good for you, but she don't have a good track record. And you know, it's just kind of sad to see somebody go so far left with their feminism and socialism and liberalism that they destroy themselves. But you know, she has every fundamental right to do that, and I don't begrudge her from acting silly and being stubborn. But it doesn't have to be that way, Carolyn. I know you watch my videos, you audit them all, you report me, you've done all sorts of nasty things, but I still speak to you through the camera, very kind and benevolent. And you know, if you need my help, you need a reference, maybe even a few bucks, I'd kindly throw you a few bucks if you said, you know, Andrew, really love to get that apartment. I need an extra 400 bucks for my damage deposit for my apartment. You know, Carolyn contacted me. I would help her. I would help her. I know she is like a nemesis to me, and maybe I am to her, but really, you can tell by the tone of my voice, I'm a very kind and caring person, and I will always put my money where my mouth is. If I make an offer, I will stand by it. And as those of you who followed my channel for years, I've made some very, very generous offers to her over the years, and she's never taken me up on it. And she'd be smart to do so, because if I make an offer and I don't stand by my words, then my word means nothing. So I have to stand by my words. That's the conservative way. If you don't live by your words are nothing. They're just air, and no one can ever believe you again. Kind of like the boy that cried wolf. Of course, she'd think all men are boys and they all cry wolf because she's got this gender dysphoria hatred. I just made that up, gender dysphoria hatred. You know, she's not really fond of the male species. Of course, I believe there's only two genders, but that's because I'm a traditionalist. She would disagree with me. She'd probably say there's several dozen. Good for her. She's entitled to have fiction live robustly within her head. But for the rest of us, we know what a woman is, things like that. So I guess that's always been the strong point in what I like to say is I live in reality. I call it the way I see it. And I'm very sorry that Carolyn has had to double down and do and make silly decisions that have hurt her financially. How many times can I say it didn't have to be this way, Carolyn? It didn't have to be this way at all. You could have done the route that virtually all the families around North America have done. You hunker down, you get a JOB, you work on that pension, you work on the investments, you save up, and then you live on the road if you want to. Then you move to Portugal. Then you get an apartment in Gibraltar. In fact, it's so sad. I watch her do videos and she's wearing rags. I mean, you don't just see me wearing t-shirts, so I'm no snappy dresser, even though I do have some nice Italian suits. But hey, at least I buy new t-shirts from the cities and places around the world that I travel to. So it's just so sad. She's got those old flannel shirts that are so worn out, and you know, it's tragic that she's doing this to herself and hurting herself financially. And you know what? I'm not going to make fun of you, Carolyn, if you get a job. I'll just report it and say Carolyn has moved on. She sold the old beater RV. Hopefully you don't sell it to the wrong person and take advantage of them. Please don't do that. And if you get an apartment, you get a JOB, maybe you're a Walmart greeter, or like I said, why don't you get one of those six-figure liberal jobs from like Berkeley? You're a graduate from Berkeley in California, eh? They got, you know, diversity and inclusion officers. You can make 6 figures a year just blowing smoke. You know, a lot of high-paying liberal jobs. Go with your liberal friends and family folk and do your liberal stuff, make your 6 figures, and work on that pension, start stacking the cash, start living the life that I live. But don't be angry. Don't be angry at the rest of us like me that did it the hard way with sacrifice. Don't hate me because I lived right. Carolyn. You just need to tweak your life, start giving your head a shake, start working for what you need, because people are not going to keep paying for you on Patreon and on YouTube, because the trend is clear on that line about where things are going for you. It's going to end in an ugly situation, and you may even have a breakdown in a bad spot. So don't let that happen to you, Carolyn. Things are getting tough for everybody. Maybe not for me, but they are for you, Carolyn. So get it right. If you need my help, you know how to contact me. So folks, please put your comments down below, and I'm going to try and make an effort over the next few months to crank up more videos a little more often. I'm slowly catching up on things. YouTube kind of has to take the back seat to a lot of my other travels and escapades, because got to remember, YouTube is not real, but my personal life is, and my personal life and my travels and what I do is priority one, because the dirt sleep's coming. I'm not getting any younger, so I'm sure you guys all understand. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Please put your comments down below, and I wish you well, Carolyn, and I wish you all well. Keep your wheels in the ground. Over and out.
Can go to figure out what we've done, what we need to do. Yeah, I got you, I got you, I got you.